Hello, I'm Mary Piggott. This is my presentation for EDCI 633, which is to encourage Columbus City Schools to become a mobile learning district. I call it Mobile Learning Initiative, bringing our schools into the 21st century. Here's my overview. I'm going to talk about the following things, which is what is mobile learning, what does it look like, why should we, and how do we get there, and then I go through the 7-step plan for implementing mobile learning. I wanted to give an explanation of what mobile learning is, just to make sure that anyone I'm presenting to is clear about what I'm talking about. So say mobile learning is a realistic 21st century learning style where students are allowed, encouraged, and required to use a personal electronic device such as a smartphone, tablet, or laptop to participate in lessons created and facilitated by teachers. I guess the main point I wanted to make was that mobile learning doesn't have to be a mobile phone or a smartphone. It can be a student that brings a laptop, a student that uses an iPad or a Kindle, or different things. So I guess I wanted to clear that up early on. I wanted to give a clear vision of what a mobile learning district would look like. So here I say that students are engaged with their devices for learning both in and out of the classroom, that teachers act as facilitators teaching how instead of what, that students can work at a pace comfortable to them and teachers can more effectively differentiate lessons, and that students are using 21st century skills foundationally across the curriculum in every class. Here is the why. Why should we move in this direction? I list a few benefits that I discussed throughout the presentation. First, I mentioned cost saving. Portable devices are becoming more affordable. Many students can and do provide their own. It's BYOD, or bring your own device. National technology goals say one of them is to put a computing device in the hands of every student. We need to meet that goal at some point. 21st century skills. Our students will need new technology-based skills to be ready for the workforce and higher education. Skills using technology are not going away anytime soon, and to be competitive in these fields, our students need more 21st century skills in high school. 24/7 learning environment. With their own device, students are connected to the learning beyond the hours of the school day. They can access with their device any hours of the day, flexible to them if they work, if they're athletes. They'll actually learn when they can and when it's right for them. How do we get there? This is introducing the 7-step plan that I break down in the presentation. So the 7-step plan encompasses the entire process of becoming a mobile learning district. First step is investigating. Why? What problems are we trying to solve? Scoping. Who are the stakeholders and participants? Planning. Who is responsible? What is the program design? 4. Preparing for implementation. What needs to be purchased, installed, tested? Rolling out. Distribution, training, professional development. Learning and training. Learning communities, modeling, refining, reflecting. And lastly, evaluation. How can we improve? What were the successes? Here we start with the first step, investigation. I already discussed several benefits of mobile learning, but here I want to address two very apparent problems in our district and kind of build the implementation plan on solving these two problems, which are lack of student engagement and lack of 21st century skills used in classrooms. Lack of student engagement. Here I use a quote from Karen Cater to support the idea that if each student has a device, they will be more engaged. If they're genuinely engaged, then they are learning. Why do students often turn to their devices during class? Why might a teacher hear noises from Flappy Bird and Candy Crush in the middle of a lesson? It's because a student isn't being engaged. If they were, especially on their device, they wouldn't need to turn to these games. Engagement isn't a focus on entertainment, it's about brain activity. Karen Cater believes engagement is one of the best characteristics of a technology-rich school. Here, I use the ISTE technology standards as rationale for why students should have their own devices. Our district needs to do something to teach our students more 21st century skills, and I give a few examples of how these technology standards can be met daily if our district becomes BYOD. So I say that these standards, which include a lot of collaboration, digital citizenship, creation, and innovation, are a few of many components that can be met when each student has a device. These standards can be met during content lessons when technology is used foundationally. So teachers wouldn't have to make an extra effort to plan a program or plan a lesson that includes 21st century skills because the students are going to be doing it all the time. Okay, there is no extra effort when you're using technology as the foundation for teaching. Instead of textbooks, paper, pencil, it's iPad, smartphone, laptop are the new basic tools students will have to bring to class every day. It's very important to acknowledge that this is a huge change that will have a big impact on our schools. It's an entire culture change that has already met much resistance in different realms of technology. For example, I know some teachers who still don't use online gradebooks. That is definitely resistance to technology. The biggest change for teachers, I feel, is that they will be lecturers no more. They will not deliver information anymore. They're going to show students how to find the information, how to use internet resources, how to present it, instead of just giving them the information and asking it to be recalled. Students won't be confined to the school day for learning anymore either. If they have a device, they can log in while they're on the hour-long bus ride to work and get an assignment done. They can pull up extra information if they have been thinking about it throughout the day instead of waiting the next day to ask a teacher a question, which maybe the student doesn't feel is relevant anymore or they forget. And so students will have more flexibility to communicate with teachers and to submit assignments. With these big changes that we want to make, we are going to need new technology. Um, it's pretty basic as our district is kind of far behind, but the biggest, most important thing that we've been fighting for a while is that we need strong Wi-Fi in each building. And each teacher, along with each student, will need a personal device. Students and teachers should also be able to access the network from any location through a login process um, in order to, like I said, submit assignments or things like that. We use Blackboard a lot, which is you're able to access that from anywhere. So if there is a network where students' files are being stored, like Google, or right now we have a Citrix virtualization network, that needs to be able to be accessed from anywhere in order to submit assignments and things like that for this process to really work and for it to be 24/7 and for the learning environment to extend outside of just the 40 minutes you have with a student per day. Further into investigating, it's pretty clear that though students are fairly quick to learn technology and many have already mastered their personal devices that they own, teachers might need a little brush up on these skills when we begin to use technology foundationally. So teachers will need to know the basics of how to use and troubleshoot their technology. They will need to think about how to incorporate technology effectively into their lessons and think about the pedagogy that they're using and not just using technology to replace outdated equipment. Okay, this isn't just using Microsoft Word to type a paper instead of write a paper. It's really getting the students to use technology in a new way to, to help that genuine engagement, brain activity learning. I mean, a teacher's entire curriculum will be turned upside down. Classrooms won't look traditional anymore, and as several sources report, in a technology-rich classroom, it's difficult to tell where the front of the classroom is. Teachers will need to accept that their role in the classroom is changing in a big way, but that they still play a very, very vital role in education. It's just not in the traditional way that we've all been taught. Now, this is a big change, and to support the change of an entire culture, really, that has to take place, I'm setting this plan to cover 5 years. We'll begin implementation at the high school level, and it'll trickle down to elementary. But during this time, there will be intensive, ongoing professional development for teachers and administrators. Professional learning communities and schools will support each other regularly. Technology coaches will be available in each school for in-class support, and ongoing assessment and evaluation will celebrate the successes and address any issues that are causing trouble. After the investigation stage, we move on to scoping. Who are our stakeholders? Who is going to support this change and see through that it happens because they recognize the importance and urgency of this movement? Administrators will hold teachers accountable and ensure that they are working to incorporate technology. Lead teachers will be selected for their fluency in technology and enthusiasm of using it in the classroom. The community will play a very important role in bringing mobile devices into the schools. They should demand the highest level of education for their students and will have ample opportunity to participate in the planning and implementing process. And the highest level of education for their students includes 21st century skills that a mobile learning environment will provide. The bottom line, here are the clear goals I hope to achieve in 5 years. First, all high schools will be equipped with capable Wi-Fi, strong enough to handle lots of users, lots of activity. All teachers will be using technology foundationally and not just replacing outdated equipment. And all students will have a personal electronic device assigned to them or that they own that they can access at all times, flexible for them and their learning. Here I discuss the scope of the participants. Initially, the participants will include administrators and lead teachers. Then, all other teachers will become participants after lead teachers have mastered technology and pedagogy and are able to assist technology coaches as mentors. Parents and the community will be included and informed of all decisions and will have opportunity to participate in workshops and meetings to understand their role in this major shift in culture. In order to be ready professionally, the following must happen. Technology policies must change. Financial focus for the district needs to be on technology at this time. Teachers and administrators must participate in professional development with open minds, and parents in the community must offer support for the shift in culture.